vitamins or something. And I'm like, sure, I'll take down a few pounds. So we did. Anyway, most
Wait,
important.
Did he spend the night? Wait, hold on. Did he spend the night?
Not yet.
No, I'm not. I have fam nearby, so I'm doing the commute. I'm doing the commute. It's
I cleaned some sheets. It's nice.
There's nothing like going on a one-way street for just dozens of miles when the person has a case of the Sundays, but it's Monday or Tuesday morning traffic. So that's lovely. Anyway,
at least you don't have the lights, the Christmas lights behind you today. So way to upgrade.
Thanks, AJ. I made those just for you. You can look back at yesterday's show. So in about 15 minutes, we'll have Kenny Ballgame, Ken Rosenthal joining us. And then in hour number 2, after we're done with the stadium crew, we'll be on Foul Territories YouTube with Wade Miley and Matt Olson joining us as well. And then Kratz and me, we're already doing some Legends territory this morning. And then right after this, we are running a special AJ Pierzynski versus Todd Frazier matchup out of the park baseball. They're managing against each other. AJ's nervous as hell. We will run that for you. I'll be in the live chat with everyone. We'll have their best 2 teams that they played for of all time. Not even going to say which team was AJ's. You know it's 05. And that'll run at 3 o'clock Eastern right on our YouTube. And then Kratz and me have something we're doing later on NYY News TV. We're going to watch the Yankees game for a watch along. We'll get to that too in just a moment. Let's charge the damn mound because the Reds deserve to be on the front page. They have won 9 games in a row, and Joey Votto is so back. AJ, he homered and had the key knock later in the game. And remember, hey, he might have heard you. You were like, I don't want to mess up any of the vibes here. Well, Joey was adding to the vibes.
Did you see his quotes after the game? Sorry, by the way, if I keep looking over here because I'm trying to pull my notes up on my iPad. So if you see me go like this while I'm talking to you guys, I apologize to everyone out there watching because this is a different setup since I'm not home. But did you see Joey's quotes after the game? I wanted to make sure I was ready to fit in. He didn't say I want to make sure I was healthy. No. He said I had to fit in. Well, when you hit a homer, get the big knock, of course you're going to fit in. But the thing that got me the most about the Reds game, the crowd reaction. Scotty, Erik, did you guys see the crowd reaction? There was people everywhere in Cincinnati. When's the last time you turned on a Reds game? And there was people going crazy, dude. That was what was awesome. And Joey got the cape and he got the Viking helmet and he did the whole deal. But, dude, that was awesome. Welcome back, Joey Votto.
Swing change and everything. Like his swing. Well, yes, this is like a youth baseball thing. Like swing change, he starts all up here, and he might think he's doing something different, but when it's time to hit, he's the same Votto. The difference was he pulled a homer, and I know he started doing it a little bit like last year, but I thought that was kind of from the shoulder, like he was getting a little bit too body into it. But when he's pulling homers and he's putting the ball in the air to the pool side, it's usually not good for Joey Votto. But then he locked back in, whacked a single up the middle. Like, this is, I mean, everything the Reds do right now, just keep hitting the right button. Like, David Bell hasn't gotten ejected from a game for a little while. Like, this is, the Great American Small Park was a Great American Loud Park last night. They were hopping.
And it was tight in the late stages. Alexis Diaz, runners on first and third, no outs, back-to-back punch-outs, and a ground ball out for the save because, again, he was pissed. AJ saying, I'm not sure he's going to be a top 5 reliever yet in my mind. He's got to earn it a little bit more. But for me, he's already a top 5 reliever because I have a lot of recency bias. So right now, I can't come up with he's in my top 5. If I have to lock down a save tonight, he is in my top 5. He's been that good. He's going to be an all-star. And on the big picture, the Reds haven't – what?
Hold on. Give me your top 5. Give Kratz and I your top 5.
Right now?
Right now.
He can't. That's why he's saying it.
I'm on a time limit. Oh, gotta go. Okay, fine. You give me your top 5 that so easily excludes your boy. Like, okay, cool. Emmanuel Clase, he's awesome. Edwin Diaz doesn't count because he's hurt right now. Add players onto this list.
The guy. Oh, you said Diaz doesn't count because he's hurt, right?
Josh Hader.
Right now,
Josh Hader, Clay Holmes. There's 2.
Okay, Alexis Diaz is in the same category.
I'll take Adam in Tampa.
Nope, I'll take Diaz. Diaz over Adam.
No. You said when you rescinded it yesterday and you said
Williams?
top 10, and I would agree he could be top 10. But top 5, no.
You need a save tonight. You have 5 other guys you feel better with.
Ryan Presley.
Ryan Presley can't throw a homer first right now. No, I'm kidding. But yes, okay, it's fair. I'm not saying he's a lock that he's top 5, but I'm saying right now he's pitching like a top 5 closer in baseball.
He's their best closer, and that's all they need. He's got 19 saves. 19 saves on the Reds. You might go a whole season without having 19 saves for the Reds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's huge. Like, what are the Reds doing poorly? Maybe they give up too many runs as a starting pitching staff, which I think is a strength of theirs. But I think they're kind of running into a little bit of the whole, okay, you guys strike everybody out. Go strike everybody out. Hunter Green getting hurt, that hurts. That hurts because he is the same type of pitcher. It's like Votto, come out, 4 innings, 10 punch outs. All these guys come out, and Ashcraft, 4 innings, 8 strikeouts. Slider. So I think they need a little more length out of them to make themselves a team. Because you look at the playoffs, they want to make the playoffs. They could make the playoffs. They could win the Central. Not saying they will. They could. But who starts for them the first 2 games? It's like openers as your starters that just punch out the world.
Mm-hmm. I like Lodolo too, by the way. I mean, he'll be back soon. I think he's going to be very effective for them. I also think Graham Ashcraft is much better than what we saw from him over the last couple months. But I agree. Starting pitching is the need, no doubt about it. And maybe they get Max Scherzer. Boom. I just took you to the Mets. Mad Max.
What a transition.
I mean,
you're crazy. And you know what the best part about this Reds conversation is? One, besides we're talking about the Reds, they're in first place, and it's June 20th. They are in first place, and it's June 20th.
Haven't had that since 2012. Todd Frazier's team, which is going to play against yours later. But
anyway. You gave it away.
What?
You said you weren't going to say who was playing against.
No, 2012 against 2005.
2005.
I was saying I didn't want to mention his 05 team again. But anyway, Scherzer's back. The slider was back. You saw it right from the jump. He was getting swings and misses on it. Then it's in everyone's head. And Dusty Baker said post-game, he's not throwing quite as hard as I've seen him, but he always had a good slider. It was the slider that set up everything else tonight, and they dominated Houston. An 11-1 win for the Mets. Nice statement game for them. They have a lot of work to do still as a ball club, the Mets, to get themselves into a good position. But 8 innings, 1 run. It was deepest he's gone into a performance as a Met. 1 walk. He's not walking anyone, too, by the way, in the last month and change. 8 strikeouts. He was great. Astros are struggle city right now. They fall 6.5 games back of Texas. And get Jose Abreu out of the cleanup spot, please. Oh, my gosh. You got to drop him.
He was getting hot.
No.
That was the word that was said. He's starting to figure it out. He had an opposite.
3 games.
Yes, I agree. But I think the Astros issues go way farther than Jose Abreu. Like, who are they going to – you can't just be like, okay, Jose Abreu, you're not hitting there anymore. Who are we moving up?
Offense
is struggling.
They need reinforcements right now. That's why I'm actually not worried about the Astros, AJ. I like their pitching a lot. And I also think, I mean, they've been playing sloppy defense lately. That's not like them. And they're a pretty good defensive team. I'm not too concerned about them. But for the Mets, see, for me, with Scherzer, sure, looked great. That's awesome. But I think they've got a lot of work to do as a ball club, and it's not going to be easy. You have no chance at the division. And even for a wild card, I don't know if it's there. Bullpen, offense is just okay. What do you think?
I agree. What's the path, right? They need Scherzer and Verlander to win every time they take the ball. And those two guys are almost, they're 40-ish years old. And it is not easy when you take the ball. They've already missed time, both of them, whether for injuries or, random suspensions, you can call it there, Scotty. But it's so much pressure on Scherzer, Verlander, Quintana's out, Carrasco hasn't pitched well. It's been like, okay, where do we turn for wins from the rotation? Then you lose Diaz in the WBC. The offense hasn't clicked at all. It's like, man, they're trying young guys. Alvarez has been good, but Alonso misses time. Lindor hasn't been good. It's like, it's just we talk about teams that don't fit, and for some reason, whatever it is, this team doesn't fit together. It's like piece. But when do they come together and fit? And that's been the thing for the Mets. It just hasn't fit together. Is it too late for a wild card? Probably not, but they better go. And guess who they get tonight? Mr. Framber.
That's a tough matchup. But they got Verlander going. AJ, I want to ask you ever caught somebody, not saying Scherzer's at the end of his career, but he's definitely closer to the end than the beginning. You ever caught somebody, like it's set that stat we have here, 17 sliders and 1 whiff. Yesterday threw 31 and had 7 whiffs. Do you think the 7 whiffs are because he threw it more? Or do you think the 7 whiffs are, well, it's been working, so we're going to throw 31 of them? You know, at the end of a career when you're making adjustments with guys.
I think it was that. I think he's, as Dusty said, his fastball velo was down, right? So what's he going to go to? His next best pitch has been a slider. And you look at Justin Verlander, he's kind of gone to that as he's gotten older. Maybe they sat down and chatted and said, Verlander said, hey, Max, my slider, I'm throwing more, and I've been better with it. Maybe the Astros don't match up as good with sliders. They're right-hand heavy. The Astros are very right-hand dominant. So maybe that was it. It's matchups, it's age. It's trying to figure out what's working, because what had been working for Max his whole career has not been working this year. So you got to figure out something. It's kind of like the Kershaw debate, the Greinke debate. As they've gotten older, they've changed their pitch selection, and they've become more open to changing how they attack guys. And it's worked for both those guys. So maybe Max is the next in line.
I've got people in the chat throwing out top 5 relievers. So Knob, who's always solid and well prepared. Felix Bautista. See, that's a guy I want right now.
And
closing
Cano.
out tonight. He's got both of them in there. He's got Yadier Cano and Felix Bautista, Alexis Diaz, David Bednar. That's a good call, and Duran. All very solid. So that's like an all stuff in your face. Forget the pedigree. Just like we haven't done it for long, but right now we're damn good.
Bednar's the poo slinger of that whole
He
group.
is.
With Duran
With
throwing
command
105.
of 2 secondary pitches that are plus, in addition to the heat that he throws upstairs. So good for you. Let's throw our first poll out there. And if you want to play along, scan the QR code on the screen, or you go to your browser and type in watchstadium.com/foul territory. And the question was brought up in a poll put together by The Athletic, and Ken Rosenthal is going to chime in on this when we swing back. If you were starting a team today, who is the first player that you would sign? Your options: Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, Ronald Acuna Jr. Now everyone's going, oh, you're missing this guy, or other. That's why we put other, okay? You can let us know. The field. Ohtani, Judge, Acuna Jr., other. You're starting a team today. Who's the first player that you sign up, okay? We'll swing back. We'll talk to Ken Rosenthal about this question, and also Ken going over Yankees-Red Sox series, the National League playoff picture, and Corbin Carroll for MVP. BRB.
Now, a look at some of the statistical leaders across Major League Baseball. In the OPS category, or on-base percentage plus slugging percentage, Shohei Ohtani remains the final qualified hitter with an OPS over 1,000. In the home run category, once again Shohei Ohtani leads the way with 24 long balls on the season. In the stolen base category, Oakland Athletics speedster Esteury Ruiz has already swiped an MLB best 36 bags this season. In the category of runs batted in, the amazing Shohei Ohtani once again tops the charts with 58 ribbies on the year. In the runs scored category, Ronald Acuna Jr. has scored a league-leading 63 runs for the Atlanta Braves. He's having a very nice season. Luis Arraez leads the league in hits with 102, but Bo Bichette is right on his heels with 100. With 5 hits on Monday night, Luis Arraez also leads the league with a 400 batting average. No one has hit 400 over a full season since Ted Williams in 1941. Freddie Freeman continues to absolutely rake. He's leading the league in 2-baggers with 25. Over on the pitching side of things, Shane McClanahan's 2.12 ERA is best in baseball. And when it comes to making guys miss, Spencer Strider stands atop the strikeout ranks with 127 strikeouts so far in 2023. And now, back to foul territory.
I know you're all thinking about the poll question. You have one player to sign up first for your ball club. Forget about the money for a moment. Money ain't a thing. Ohtani, Judge, Acuna Jr., or the field. Just think about it as we bring in our first guest of the day on FT Live, Ken Rosenthal, joining us right now. Ken, great to see you, and we'll put the pressure right on you. The answer from you on that poll question is?
First of all, I love the question, and I loved this answer that a number of players gave. He made the list, but he wasn't really the main guy, and nor is he the main guy. But I like this idea. Adley Rutschman, because he is younger than all of the players we listed. He also is a guy that plays a position of incredible importance, catcher. And if you look at the way the Orioles have turned around since his promotion, it's pretty stunning. So, obvious answer is Ohtani. I'd go with Ohtani, of course. But I thought Rutschman was an intriguing choice as well.
No Acuna? No Acuna, Ken. Guy's going to probably be the National League MVP. He's what, 24 years old, Ken?
First of all, AJ,
you're such the easy choice option. You're always option easy.
First of all, AJ, what an honor it is to be with you finally.
Great point. You know what, Ken? The interview's
right
over. You said the greatest point you've ever made. We can let you go now. Thank you, Ken.
No, Acuna, of course, is a great choice, and he is still relatively young as well. I'm talking about with Rutschman, and I'm not disputing Acuna. I'm not even disputing Judge, who's 31. You want to start a team with Aaron Judge? Good. You're fine. But what I'm saying with Rutschman is the catching position, as you two guys know, is arguably the most important on the field. And this guy has a special knack behind the plate. He's a switch hitter. He does a lot of things. Ronald Acuna Jr. is arguably, after Ohtani, the best player in the sport right now. Of course you would want him on your team. But I'm just saying that Rutschman is an intriguing choice as well.
No matter what you would have said, Ken, AJ would have given you a hard time. So that's why you take it with a smile. But I love the Rutschman. I saw that on some of the lists, and I love that. But the one person that nobody said has actually been on the field when they've won a World Series, Yordan Alvarez, and had big hits to put his team there. Like he can't get overlooked, even though the defense and all that stuff. But to me, Yordan is a guy that's up there too.
No doubt. And Erik, you touched on this. What's holding Yordan back in such a poll is the fact that he doesn't play all that much in the field. That's not his specialty. He is essentially a hitter. And Judge is a great defender as well as a hitter. Yordan is a capable defender when he's in left, but that's not his thing. So I would expect that the lack of versatility, relatively speaking, is why more players didn't vote for him. But there's another guy. If you're starting a team, who more would you want in the center of your order than Yordan Alvarez? Aaron Judge, maybe. Acuna Jr., who hits at the top of the order, maybe, but not many choices beyond that. And Ohtani as well.
Now we're going to take a tier down to the front runner for MVP in the National League, Corbin Carroll. Clearly going to win the Rookie of the Year.
Whoa, what?
Not MVP.
You just lost all the Braves fans.
But I had to. It was a leeway. It was a bad transition. I enjoy the MVP or the Rookie of the Year vote. Mm-hmm. Sell me on him as getting MVP votes.
Oh, I can do that. And Acuna is the front runner. I don't know that there's any question about that. If the season ends today, it's Acuna. I have a hard time seeing how it will not be Acuna in the long run. Braves are atop their division. But when you look at Carroll, here is a guy who leads the league in OPS plus, has a higher slugging percentage than Acuna, has more home runs by one than Acuna, and he's 5'11", 170. This is a remarkable player. And if you go by the advanced defensive metrics, he's having a better defensive year than Acuna too. I'm not always so sure how much I factor into it. Acuna more stolen bases. He's got 30, but Carroll's 19 for 21. So here is a guy who, in his first full season, is doing remarkable things. He is definitely, if you took the poll right now, took the vote right now, he's second to Acuna, and maybe on some ballots even first, because the Diamondbacks are in first place. So I love what we're seeing from Corbin Carroll. It's a remarkable first season, and I don't know that he's going to overtake Acuna. I have a hard time believing that. But yes, he is definitely in the conversation.
So Ken, since you're Mr. Athletic and you guys came up with all these polls, the expansion thing.
Thanks for calling me athletic, AJ. I appreciate that.
No. You know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about, Ken. You know what I'm talking about. The athletic, not athletic. the, however you want to say it. You guys came out with all these polls. They're anonymous from Major League Baseball players. Expansion. Obviously, Las Vegas is where the A's are going, so that team is out. But where the heck is Orlando on this list? And I get it. Nashville, Orlando, that'd be a great 1-2 punch. Montreal, they had a team. They tried it. Charlotte, Austin. I mean, some of these other teams are okay. But Nashville, I guess, would be where MLB wants to go next.
I don't know where MLB wants to go. This was a player poll, and I believe 102 players participated. And I found it really interesting that Nashville did so well. Maybe, AJ, because so many players live in the Nashville area in the offseason, but hey, a lot live in Orlando too. So I don't know exactly what drove that. I was a little surprised to see Montreal. I believe that might have to do with certain players' preferences for gentlemen's clubs in that particular city.
I've never been, so I don't know, Ken. You tell me.
I
never
know.
went there. I don't know, Ken.
The stories are legend, AJ. That's all I have to say about it.
Okay.
So it was interesting that Orlando did not fare better. And I actually spoke with Pat Williams, who is trying to bring a team to Orlando last week. We were talking about some different things, and he's quite excited about the possibility. Now, when you haven't succeeded in Tampa Bay, and I know Orlando's a different market, AJ, don't get all excited here. But when you're trying to figure that out still, I don't know that Orlando at that point would get serious consideration unless Tampa Bay, for whatever reason, did not get figured out locally, and maybe they move. Who knows what happens? It sounds like they've got some momentum to some degree with getting a ballpark in either St. Pete, most likely there, or Tampa. And at that point, does MLB want another team in Orlando? What's the difference in miles? What's the distance, I should say, in miles?
Under 100 miles. Under
100 miles. It might be a tough sell, especially with another team in Miami.
Here's one thing I know about what Pat Williams has said, because I've done the whole tour with him. He's taken me on the whole thing. In an ideal world, they move the Rays to Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
If you really dig into what Pat Williams is saying, he finds somebody that will go out, or Sternberg moves them to Orlando to make them a viable option. Because, like you said, they're too close between Miami, Orlando, Tampa. They're all too close. They're within 4 hours of each other. All three of those teams. It would never work. So you would have to take one of the teams. Miami's obviously not moving because they have their own thing down there. Tampa would be, and if they came to the city of Orlando and said, "Hey, will you build us a stadium?"
Well, maybe that's the answer.
Change the things.
And you're right, AJ. It's got to be one or the other, Orlando or Tampa Bay area. Now, we just heard all this talk from the A's, from Las Vegas, to some degree from MLB about, wow, all these tourism dollars are going to come into Las Vegas. All these people from all over the country are going to want to come to see baseball in that city. I don't know that Las Vegas is any more of a tourist attraction than Orlando is. So it would be the same logic to bring a team there. But yes, the competition with other markets in Florida would be an issue.
We're going to start Orlando territory, and it's just going to be an hour a week of AJ talking about Orlando tourism and how they need a ballpark because you're hogging up way too much of this precious real estate. And I live there. I like it, but enough. Uncle, I get it. Anyway, we do have a question that brings us to what I wanted to ask you anyway from Justin, who just asked in the live chat. What's up, Ken? Any reason why the article about players being pulled about Ohtani going to LA got released today with a little smiley face there?
No, we don't operate in that sinister fashion. I'm not even sure the editors who scheduled that article to be released today were aware of the current schedule. So, no, it doesn't happen. AJ, let me tell you something. You know a lot about a lot of things. You don't know how editors think. Many of us don't really understand how editors think. So I don't believe that had anything to do with it.
Well, give us insight, though. That's what I wanted to ask you about was how the polling went, which we can show. And the Dodgers obviously win by a landslide in terms of the player poll. And I particularly liked one of the players' responses, if you want to elaborate, right? One of the players was like, I don't give a shit about Ohtani. And probably some players are sick of hearing about Ohtani. Although if you listen to Fair Territory yesterday with Ken, he was like, well, if you're sick of Ohtani, then probably should be a fan of another sport because you're witnessing history and this stuff's awesome. And to me, Ken, as we're showing the poll right now and the results, Dodgers big up at 57%, then Angels 11, Padres 7, and Mets 7, and Yankees at 6. I mean, for me, two things emerge. One is this is like the LeBron James decision that shook the NBA for years to come. That first one way back when he went to the Miami Heat, right? Or to the right? Is that the first one that it was?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm taking my talents to Miami.
To South Beach, right?
To South Beach.
So there's that. And then also, I actually think that the Mariners should be on the board here. I actually buy Seattle as a contender.
Well, if you took a poll of people in the industry, Scott, it would be even more lopsided for the Dodgers. The general consensus in the industry is that that is where he's going to end up. Now, we don't know, and certainly free agency often brings us surprises. But this is going to be something else. And the reason people are so high on the Dodgers, and players are aware of this too, the Dodgers went backward on payroll this year. They seemingly are setting up to do this very move. Now, I was a little surprised to see the Angels get, 11%? Because I don't know that he's staying there. But if the Angels somehow get to the playoffs, and right now they are in playoff position, and maybe they have a run in the playoffs, which with Ohtani and Trout, you can certainly see them doing, and some of their other players as well, maybe that changes his whole perspective. We know he's comfortable there. We just don't know if he's comfortable with the losing. In fact, he's given some hints over the last year or so that he's not at all comfortable with the losing that has happened for most of his career there. So those two teams clearly are factors. I would expect the Mets to some degree because of Steve Cohen would be a factor. The Mariners can be, but do you expect the Mariners to spend $600 million? I don't, or whatever the number is. We don't know what the number is going to be. I have a hard time seeing that. And that's why the bigger market teams are so favored here in this process. But again, it is free agency. You never know. All it takes is one team. If you guys remember Albert Pujols, when he went to the Angels, that was quite surprising. And he almost went to the Marlins that particular season. So I don't know that you can predict it, but the overwhelming consensus in that poll and in the people you talk to around baseball is the LA Dodgers.
All right. We're not going to keep you on a pitch clock, but you got to sort out this whole NL playoff race for us. And only you can do it.
I don't know that I can sort it out, but the West is especially interesting to me. One, we have a team that is leading the division that is a surprise, the Arizona Diamondbacks. A lot of us felt, and I'm sure possibly you guys felt as well, that they were a team on the rise, that they may be able to do some things, especially under the new rules. They've got a lot of faster players, athletic guys, and the trade that they made with Toronto has worked out great. Moreno behind the plate, Gurriel in the outfield, or wherever he is playing on a particular day. A lot of good things have happened there. They still don't have, for me, or really for anyone else, the pitching, starting pitching in particular, that you would expect of a team that would perhaps be a division winner. They've got Gallen, they've got Kelly, they've got Zach Davies, who's inconsistent, and a number of kids who are going to be good, but maybe are not there yet. Okay, that's the top of the division. Then the Giants are an equally fascinating team because they're kind of turning over their roster in the middle of the season. We've seen Casey Schmidt come up. He's a brilliant defender, had a great offensive start, slowed down a little bit. We've seen Patrick Bailey emerge already as one of the top defensive catchers in the game, also holding his own offensively. And now, with Haniger hurt, here comes Luis Matos playing the outfield. He's an intriguing guy as well. They have starting pitching. Some of it's injured right now, Cobb and Stripling. But are they that good a team? I'm not sure. And then, of course, the Dodgers. And the Dodgers are a hot mess. Their bullpen is unspeakably bad for them, relatively speaking. And they're going to have to fix their pitching. Now, they're getting Arraez back at the end of the month. They're getting Daniel Hudson back for the bullpen at the end of the month. That theoretically should stabilize some things. I'm sure they'll do some things as well at the deadline. They too have a lot of young pitching in the mix. 2 starters right now, Bobby Miller and Emmett Sheehan. So there is a lot that is kind of unsettled there. And we're assuming good health for Kershaw all year, which I don't know that we can assume. And finally, the Padres. The Padres are playing better, and they've got some good things going. And they just won that series from Tampa Bay. But is it going to be enough? Will they be able to put together that charge that we all expect from them still? So that's just the NL West. And then you go to the Central, and all hell is breaking loose. The Reds are on the rise. We've talked about that team quite a bit. And then in the East, the Braves are a pretty clear front runner. So you're looking at the wild cards being quite interesting. Do the Mets, the Phillies, and the Padres, the 3 disappointing teams in the league, along with the Cardinals, eventually make some kind of charge and grab those spots? That remains to be seen.
And you know that all of those teams are not going to make the postseason. So there's going to be massive disappointment either in San Diego or in Queens or, of course, with St. Louis, who still has quite the uphill battle here. So last thing I wanted to ask you about was we haven't had you on since Rob Manfred made some ridiculous comments trying to diss Oakland fans and local politicians. Like they didn't send us offers. And then the one that just damages the sport because there's so many human beings that care about this. And also this is a top market. It's not like you're talking about 5 people that you're pissing off. Is to say, oh, yeah, that was, I'm paraphrasing. It's like a cute little average attendance at the reverse boycott. Like, that's cute, but I'm still going to stomp on you as I walk over to Las Vegas. Did that piss you off as much as basically everyone we've had on this show in the past week?
Yes, of course. And I talked about this some on Fair Territory, the latest one that we released yesterday. And I kind of mentioned that this was punching down, that it's a person of authority and responsibility and power kind of looking at the average fan and saying, not good enough, sorry. And it just, as I said, is unbecoming of a commissioner of a sport. It's not something that reflects well on him or the sport. And I also said that we all understand that Rob Manfred is the out front guy for the owners and that it is his job, as it is the commissioner's job in every professional sport, to be the bad guy. You can be the bad guy and be gracious. You can be the bad guy and have a feel for the fans in your sport. You can be a bad guy and have a feel for the players in your sport. He has not consistently shown that feel for the players and the fans. So that's the problem in my estimation. Now the owners, it seems to me, love Rob Manfred. And I can understand that. He makes them a lot of money. That's his job. He also takes the bullets. That's his job. But seems to me there is a way of showing empathy and compassion that you can still do while doing this job and running the sport the way you are running it. And I don't know why he is lacking in this particular regard, why public relations seem to be so difficult for him. Maybe it's simply his personality and that he doesn't care. But at the same time, this happens again and again and again. And I knew when they didn't sell out reverse boycott night, they came a little short. I knew, because I know how he thinks now, we've covered him a long time, that he would be looking at that and saying, they didn't even sell it out. Ultimately, that's kind of what he said. And the irony of the comment, they drew 28,500, I believe, that night, 28,000 plus. And the Las Vegas great stadium that they're moving into only seats 30,000. So that's going to be an average major league crowd too.
And also, I have conspiracy theories that they made it a logistical nightmare to get in there. The traffic, you can see, check the Google Maps. It was a traffic nightmare. I think there were many people trying to get in. Anyway, Davis, one of our commenters, said, I get he's a puppet for the owners, but his delivery is consistently trash, AJ. I think that's right on point. AJ, we don't hear you, dude.
This is the best way to savor AJ right here.
It's a great way. Did you press mute, AJ?
I did not. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, dude.
Well, Ken, since you and Rob Manfred are like this, we're going to let you go because you're off to have a pub crawl and get some tea and scrumpets, okay? When you're over there in London this weekend.
I'll be in London, AJ, and I'll be thinking of you every time I eat something, because I know you like to eat, man.
Hey, do you get a discount on your first class fare, or do you have to pay the whole?
I'm flying child's fare, AJ. That's what you want to hear.
Right?
That's what the people want to hear.
I knew it. Have a great time, Ken. I'm very jealous, actually, that you get to go over there.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We're gonna have fun, and we'll be reporting back from London later.
Yes, we'll tune in. Fair Territory International style. Ken, safe travels across the pond. Have fun out there in London. Cubs Cardinals coming up there, and we'll swing right back for everyone that's watching us at the moment on Stadium YouTube crowd. Stick around. We'll actually show you a little bit from Ken Rosenthal's Fair Territory. And for everyone coming up in less than 2 minutes, we're going to preview tonight's games. We've got 3 matchups I want to focus on. That's next.
And I want to talk about the commissioner's news conference after the Nevada legislature basically approved the public funding that is required, at least by the A's, for this relocation to happen. And Manfred said some things in this press conference that, frankly, were upsetting to a lot of people in Oakland and really a lot of baseball fans everywhere, because he engaged in something called punching down. And punching down is basically when you're talking down to people who are in less of a position of power than yourself, and you're kind of condescending toward them. You're treating them not well. And I want to show you what he said. I know a lot of people are well aware of these quotes already, but I want to go back to them. It is great to see what is this year almost an average Major League Baseball crowd in the facility for one night. That's a great thing. That's sarcastic. That is not necessary. And that was a night in which the Oakland fans turned out, showed their spirit. No, they didn't fill the place or at least get to the capacity of the Oakland Coliseum. But guess what? It got pretty damn near the capacity of what the Las Vegas Stadium is going to be, which is 30,000. It was a show of support. It is something where all the commissioner had to say was, hey, that was great to see. Unfortunately, it didn't work out in Oakland, and this move is going to happen, at least if it's approved by the major league owners. That's not what he said. He engaged in punching down. A commissioner of baseball should not be doing that. Evan Drellick wrote a great column for The Athletic about this whole matter. And Evan said, you know what? At times we prefer our leaders and people in positions of power to tell the truth. And that's true. We do prefer that. But you can tell the truth, or at least give your truth, in a way that is not snide and condescending, in a way that is unbecoming for a commissioner of baseball, a person in Rob Manfred's position. When he speaks like this, and I understand he is the owner's out front guy, and he's there to take the hits. And we all know this. We all understand his position, and it's not an easy one, by the way, working with the 30 owners. But when you conduct yourself in that fashion, I'm sorry, it reflects poorly on your sport.
And we're swinging back on Stadium, and for everyone with us on YouTube too, it is Foul Territory. Erik Kratz, AJ Pierzynski, Scotty Braun, and poll results for you. So if you have one player to sign first to your ball club, you're starting from scratch, you need dubs, and you need someone to build around, who is it? Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, Ronald Acuna Jr., or the field? And at the moment, guess who's winning? Who should be winning? Shohei Ohtani. No
doubt. It's a landslide. He should win.
He's 2 players in one.
Yes. You just have to take one player and you have 2.
Yeah.
Like,
I got 2
and
guys
he's really
for the price
good.
of 1. I mean, he's the home run leader right now in the sport. He hits the ball harder than everyone. He has ace stuff, even if you guys don't want to give him the ace moniker yet because he hasn't pitched enough. Ace stuff, AJ. Do you
His numbers don't say that.
There's calls for Adley Rutschman, or his numbers don't say that. I mean, low 3 ZRA last year, low 2 ZRA. That's not good enough. What? It's got to be low 1s.
It's not an ace.
It's an ace. All right. So who's your guy? Who's your guy, AJ?
Shohei, of course. With money being no object, and I'll take them all. And I'll take my team with these 4 or 5 guys. You guys take your team.
No.
Start with my 5. You guys get the rest.
You need to follow the rules of the poll. You have to participate. 39%-ish. Ohtani, as the number keeps moving, but he's at a solid lead, and then it's Judge, then it's the field, and then it's Judge. So there's definitely calls for others, and I think Adley Rutschman's probably up there. Super young catcher. It's like your Posey that you build around.
And AJ just texted me. He said Juan Soto was his pick.
I knew it.
Oh, that wasn't from you, AJ. Sorry, I was looking at somebody else.
Different AJ?
Different AJ.
Anyway, let's flip another poll up
AJ
here.
Preller.
AJ Preller.
I'm building a team around AJ Preller. Okay? Stop it. All right, second poll question. Scan the QR code on the screen, or you can go to watchstadium.com/foul territory and get involved. And this question was not chosen by the people on this show. It's the people behind this show. Which team has the worst mascot? Worst mascot. And your options are Mr. Red, Mr. Redlegs, Braves Blooper, Billy the Marlin, Philly Fanatic, or other. Worst mascot, not best.
Poll lost me when they said Philly Fanatic.
He's
He's the best.
He's the best in all sports.
Yes, Philly Fanatic. How is he even listed on? Who came up with this poll?
It was
Whoever
a pro
did,
Brave.
they need to look themselves in the mirror and reevaluate their mascot judging skills.
And it's a pro Brave person, but you know what? I love Blooper. Did you see what Blooper did in those midget football games? Like that man came and he was playing in like the midget football games and he was running little kids over.
Why are you talking about little people like that?
No, he's talking about Pop Warner.
No, Pop Warner. It's called midget football. I think it's like 13 to 14-year-old, not little people.
I'm like, wait a second.
No,
Ken is going to be offended.
That is what the league is up here. Maybe it's
that's what the league is called.
That is
okay.
what the
Sorry.
league is called,
You
right?
go Pop Warner to midget to I forget, but
Emily in the chat, Blooper's a troll, which makes him amazing.
which is fun.
Troll
Right,
is like
listen, right now, 1-2. 1-2 is Orbit and Philly Fanatic. Orbit and Philly Fanatic are 1-2.
I'm a huge Orbit guy. Huge.
His interaction with players and like the classes where he sets the stuff up and it's like checking the boxes and like a paycheck or something.
He's done like sign this for me, Bryce Harper, and he signs it and then he takes it off and it's like a check for $330 million, which was his contract. Just that shit is good. So all right, vote away, have fun with it. And we'll reveal those results coming up in just a bit. Let's get into tonight's game, shall we? It is last minute game time, okay? Kratz and me are in the same spot, so we save on airfare wherever we are flying to. We're hitting the Game Time app. We're going wherever the heck we want to go. There's last minute flash deals, so we can pick up cheap tickets wherever we want. No stress with Game Time. We'll go over it more in just a moment. Let's feature tonight's games. So I've got 3 highlighted. Let's see if we get to them. AJ Pierzynski, you have 1 game to go to. Where are you again, by the way? Because you're going all over the country this week. Where are you?
I'm in Cary, North Carolina right now.
North Carolina.
USA baseball tournament.
Where's the private plane grabbing you today to pick you up so we can get you cheap tickets and you can save on them?
Well, I want to. I'm going to take 2, and I know Scott's going to say play by the rules. I don't really care what Scott says, so I'm taking 2. 1 would be Tampa Bay game. It's Baltimore, Tampa Bay. Why? Because I'd be closer to home, and they have a roof, and my son was supposed to start at 8:30 this morning. It's now almost 2 o'clock, and they haven't started yet. So because it's raining, so that's why I would pick Tampa Bay. And my second game would be the Cincinnati Reds. Because why? Because they're in first place, and that place was going crazy last night. So those would be my 2. Not for any other reason than 1, I'd be closer to home and have a roof. And 2, the atmosphere in Cincinnati was unbelievable. Kirk Herbstreit was right.
Yeah, he was right, and I was right. I knew you were going to pick 2 because you always pick 2. But fortunately, you didn't pick 2 of the highlighted ones. We're not even taking any of Scott's highlighted ones. Like, we are totally stepping on him. But the Colorado-Cincinnati game, I know you didn't have that circled before last night. So that's showing you what the Reds are doing. I'm taking a matchup from last year's NLDS when Spencer Strider was in Philly and absolutely got spiked on by Rhys Hoskins. Yes, he was hurt, whatever. The Phillies hadn't touched him. The games I watched him last year, the Phillies hadn't touched him. It was 9 strikeouts, 13 strikeouts, 10 strikeouts. And the next thing Strider knew, Rhys Hoskins was slamming the bat about 15 feet down the first baseline for the Bedlam at the bank. So I'm going for Strider Ranger because we're driving. And we don't have to take 95 because the bridge is still, or the road still isn't open.
a thing anymore?
95 will be open in 2 weeks. Somehow they got road construction done in 2 weeks. But
I don't believe it. 2 weeks usually means 2 years in construction talk in most of the country. Sorry, it's true. Anyway, for me, I highlighted 3. Verlander against Framber Valdez, still marquee. And I pick on marquee pitching matchups, Mets and Astros. Rangers and White Sox with Evaldi, who's been great in the first half. And I just want to see if Dylan Cease actually been a little better lately, if he stays on that path and then eventually becomes prime trade bait. And then the Mariners and the Yankees tonight with George Kirby going up against Garrett Cole. Kratzy and me are actually watching that game in its entirety with NYY News TV on the watch along on YouTube. We'll get into that later. So those are my three. Check them out. Good slate tonight. And if you hit Game Time on the app or gametime.co, you will not be stressed out about buying tickets anymore, especially because the Game Time guarantee means you will always get the best price. So if you find tickets in the same section and the same row for less, then Game Time's going to credit you 110% of the difference. Because it doesn't happen, okay? Get exclusive flash deals on tickets for sports, comedy, concerts, the whole deal. This is the spot to go. The images of your seat are perfection when you go into the app and you move your phone. You're like, oh, that's where I'm sitting. That's my view. So we make it easy, or they make it easy, to find seats and to find them fast, because we are last minute. And as you can see, we're all over the country right now. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Most importantly, if you're part of the FT fam, this is what you do. You download the Game Time app, you create an account, and you use code FTLive for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code FTLive, $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. We're swinging back with our picks of the night next on Stadium and YouTube. We're back on Stadium. Scotty Braun, Erik Kratz, AJ Pierzynski with you on Foul Territory, day 2 on Stadium. And we'll keep running as usual for the extra hour after this, about 10 minutes away. For the second hour, we'll have Matt Olson joining us and also Wade Miley. And AJ, is this your first time looking at yourself in the mirror? Looks like you're kind of, seeing if your beard was evenly trimmed up? You good, dude?
Have you seen Anchorman, Scott?
I have, but it's been a minute. Not going to lie. I don't have the world's best memory anymore.
Seeing how really, really good looking I am.
All right. Well, somebody's about to get smashed in the poll results.
Actually, that was Zoolander, just saying.
That was Zoolander. You're right.
You know that
as
one
you
well.
can see, yes, I do. I like to copy their poses and use many of their lines. Who has the worst mascot in Major League Baseball? And we're just going there, just going for it on day 2 of the poll. Braves, Marlins, Phillies, Reds, other. And at the moment, it's a pretty tight battle between the Phillies and Marlins, which to me means there's just massive trolling going on right now. No,
I appreciate that. I appreciate the trolling, but there's no way the Philly Fanatics should even have been on there. Like, there is some like the Padre, the father. I mean, it might be sacrilegious if you put a priest on whatever the Padre is. Like, he doesn't do anything. He's just an oversized, like, bald guy.
Some people are calling out the Mr. Met because he's just like happy-go-lucky, taking
all
pics
the time.
With people. Yeah.
My team's always losing.
Like, respectfully, I want an asshole as a mascot.
What about the Moose? Remember the Moose broke his leg once on roller skating behind?
The Mariner.
Remember the Mariner Moose? What about him? He can't get any love?
That was
Slider in Cleveland. What does he do? The hot dog? He does a hot
There's
dog.
there's no way the Fanatics should even have been on this list. But
Wally? What about Wally?
Wally's just he's kind of mid. He's just kind of mid.
Yeah, he's definitely not worse. He's not best. Fanatic's on there just to fuck with people.
Just because somebody on this show is a Braves fan and hates the Fanatic. I'm just saying.
We do have a producer like that who's telling me that we should go to our locks. So let's do it. Bet MGM locks for Tuesday. You should listen to us. Why? Because if you parlayed all our picks yesterday, you crushed.
Cash.
We won, okay? And yes, the Tigers won with AJ's pick. Cubs beat the Pirates, as I knew. And Kratzy dominates his same game parlay, strikeout props. Clap it up, AJ. Come on. Somebody's level. They're 10 games below 500, but they put their budget on the line yesterday. You won't. Throw down 1,700. Kratzy's back to nothing. I'm at 8 games over and at an 830 mark because I don't stretch myself too much. But Kratzy is right back down.
I feel like the Marlins when they made the playoffs in the COVID season. That's what I feel like. My record's kind of trash, but man, I'm in there. I mean, 0. I'd like to thank everybody who's helped me bet and gamble these days. I'm done now. No more locks for me.
We do need a pick from you though.
Okay, that's fair. Should I start?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fair. We're going to go today. I'm going same game parlay, shocker, out to the Gigantes versus the Padres. All I need is Seth Lugo to give me 3 strikeouts and Desclafani to give me 3. Desclafani's had a couple 2s here and there, but other than that, unless Seth Lugo only goes 50 pitches, which he did last time, and he still got 7 punch-outs, we're going to be good. And that's coming out at -120. So I'm put 360 down to win myself 300. I need to see the pluses.
Buying down strikeouts is a vibe right now, people. I'm just saying. I was watching your game, though, with my dad last night. We were like, let's go.
Everybody's juiced.
Yeah. I love how AJ, he always says, all they need is 3 strikeouts each. No big deal. What do you got?
All Kratz needed was 1 more last time when I text. So,
And
by
you
the
got
way,
it.
Jordan Lyles, Kansas City Royals. Jordan Lyles, you pitched great.
No, I
Kerry
feel
Carpenter.
bad. Watch the post-game press conference, though. I feel bad. Like,
I do. I feel horrible for him. But my lock tonight, Arizona and Milwaukee over 9 runs. Why? I know we call it the small park in Cincinnati, but American Family Financial, Miller Park, whatever it's called, it's not very big either. Ray versus Nelson, they both give up a lot of runs. Both these teams can swing it. It should be like a 7-4, 8-5 game. I don't care who wins, just score a lot of runs, boys.
It's called American Financial Renovation Needed or Manfred's going to move us park.
Orlando! Here we come! The Orlando Brewers!
What did I do yesterday? Cubs money line, boom, hit it again. Pirates are terrible right now. They can't score. Henry Davis' debut was awesome. We're going to talk more about that in hour number 2. Cool to see him in right field and smack a double, but that team can't hit for shit right now. They can't hit righties. It's -130 for Stroman. I'm like, am I missing something? It was -135 yesterday with Miley against a rook, and I can't get more on the best pitcher in the National League right now by ERA. Get out of here. -130. Okay. Spicy Ball is your bonus code. Hit it in the Bet MGM Sportsbook app on iOS or Android or at betmgm.com. You sign up and deposit into your newly created account. Place your first bet offer and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if your bet loses. And your bonus bets would be available once that wager is settled if the bet does lose. Always bet responsibly. Gambling problem or concern, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And we will be done here on Stadium in about 30 seconds and keep things rolling on YouTube. Second hour, we have Wade Miley, we have Matt Olson, and we have by the way, I think I said Miley just 5 seconds ago, and I meant Drew Smiley, which is an easy mix-up, right?
Drew Smiley was the one who
pitched yesterday.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I think I said Miley, but now I'm thinking about Miley in the second hour.
I don't think you said Miley.
Oh, great. I did, see?
Obviously, he doesn't have as many mistakes when he's at my house as he does when he's at your house. You intimidate him.
You know why? Kratz feeds me lunch. Boom. I said it. Wow. Did you hit the gym this morning, AJ? Great.
Dude, I was at the baseball field at 7 a.m. What the hell gym am I going to hit?
There's we got a window. I heard there's a window.
Yeah, over Hawaii. Over Hawaii.
There's always a window to play over Hawaii. Cheers to everyone for participating in the polls, and we'll be back on Stadium obviously every single day, and more content on Stadium socials along with ours. And we'll take your questions for Wade Miley and Matt Olson in the chat right now. If you're in the Foul Territory YouTube channel, we'll be right back with hour number 2. All right, here we go. Hour number 2 of Foul Territory right about now. And let's hit Hot Corner, and let's start with, I like that. See, that's actually Kratz's backyard right now. The smoker is popping.
It's popping.
Okay?
We got dinner.
Dinner's going to be insane. AJ, I've got all-inclusive resort vibes here at Kratz's.
Stay.
I will.
Stay.
I'll summer in Pennsylvania.
Summer wherever you want. I don't care.
Thanks, dude. Miss you too. Anyway, did you see Henry Davis in right field? And also, I listened to Ben Cherington, and he was talking about how, they'll give him a little bit of catcher work, although he wasn't even clear if he's definitely going to play anytime soon at catcher, because there are 2 catchers up already. I'll grab the quote because I wrote it down from the interview he was on during the game broadcast, but it sounded like he said like he'll practice some catching up at the big league level and then mix himself in. He can DH, of course, play right field. Let's first see how the call-up went for him and rate that, and then we'll talk about his debut.
Can you have me one, please? Where?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it.
What did he say?
Welcome to the show.
Congratulations.
It's always awesome, but I think that these are often kind of scripted and set up to look good for the camera. No, I love that. I love like surprising the guys. Here was my problem. No one could see what you were doing. You either needed a cam on the other side, you needed an aerial view. Like no one could tell what that call-up was. I had to watch it back 3 times. I'm like, what did you put like a love letter on the water bottle?
Scott needs to see like an action photo. He needs somebody in the refrigerator. Oh, here's the camera. Oh,
well, then do something else that I can tell. Like the sit down, like, hey, wanted to ask you about this or wanted to go over something from today. Actually, we're calling you up to the show. Like, do something fun or funny. Like, you're putting a note in. How am I supposed to buy that?
Hey, that's my guy, Miggy. Miggy's the manager there. Miguel Perez. He was a catcher when I was with the Pirates. He was awesome.
Do you think that he came up with that?
Yeah, he created. You think someone else did?
Pirates social teams, like, yo, here's the game plan. Okay,
here's the shtick. They're fired.
A water bottle that no one's going to be able to see. AJ's shaking his head the whole time. What? You're going to go, in my day, they said, hey, kid, they're calling you up, okay?
Tired, bro. That's tired. That's
What's
what
tired?
Social media has done. Can't we just have a, hey, dude, why do we got to play reindeer games? What happened to just, hey, you're going to the big leagues. Get excited. They're going to get the same reaction. We don't need to play the reindeer games. Now, if you can come up with something cute and something inventive, let's do it like they did it for the last one in Pittsburgh. Altoona, the guy I forgot his name already. The guy who was in the minor leagues forever that we talked about for a couple days. You guys know who I'm talking about, but let's do something cute and inventive. We don't need every guy that gets called up to the big leagues doesn't need their own skit, their own shtick. What happened to just being like, hey, dude, you're going to the major leagues. Your dream is coming true right now. Let's do it that way. But instead, let's check yes or no. Do you want to go to the major leagues? Check yes or check no. Davis was like, oh, I'll check yes to play right field, not catch.
Yeah, he should be catching, but whatever. Hey, they're making their decisions. Pirates always make good decisions. I agree.
Is that sarcasm?
That was a little bit of sarcasm, but miss rolling players, never. Garrett Cole, keep throwing your sinker. I'm sure that's really good, working out for you. Four-seamer will never work at the top of the zone.
Charlie Morton.
Anyway, I don't need to see this with Henry Davis. The guy got $6 billion to sign. He was going to be in the big leagues if he had 30 hot at-bats. Who I want to see it with is these guys that grinded and struggled. I want to see the surprise.
Drew Maggi.
That's his name. That's his name.
Yeah, that's his name.
Yes.
He got it.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to give it to you, but I gave it to Kratz because he gives me lunch.
So, Scott loves salmon.
Man, I give you candy pop.
But
true.
Yeah. The guys who are Garrett, like Steven Strasburg's call up, from the minor leagues, I don't care. There's going to be a sold out crowd to see him play in the big leagues. Guys like Drew Maggi, yes, videotape it, record it, create something, do a gender reveal. Here, hit this ball, and if an A comes out of it, you're going to single A from triple A, or if an M comes out, you're going to the major leagues. Do something big for the guys who it matters for. But I love this. Miggy did an awesome job. That's my guy. He's looking so svelte, too. He looks like he's lost some weight.
Don't defend him just because you played with him.
Yeah.
I didn't just play with him.
That was awful. That was an awful, awful job.
It's okay.
I agree with, for once, I'm going to agree with Scott that they should have had something that people could see. Because the people want to see. If we're going to do this for every guy that's getting called up, then we need to do something people want to see. And if you're going to do something like this, at least let us see what's inside the. Now, if you would have had a snake jump out because they were playing the Diamondbacks, or you would have had a bear in there because they're playing the Cubs, like a teddy bear. Hey, you're going to play the Cubs, rawr. Something like that. Then cool. But to tape it on a water bottle or in the fridge. Welcome to the show.
No, manager. If AJ's your AAA skipper, and each time he does a massive prank,
that would be awful.
He puts a real snake in your locker, it bites you, and he goes, "Psych, you're going to the majors."
Once you get the anti-venom, you're going to the big leagues.
That's right, they're out of the anti-venom. Oh, sorry. Well, you're not going to the big leagues. Just kidding.
It would only work if I was the big league manager, because then I would video every time I'm sending guys down. I'd be like, you just got designated and you have to go and play for AJ. And you'd see on the other end, no, I'll do whatever it takes to stay here. You get 3 hits tonight, you'll stay.
You'd be surprised, Kratz. You'd be surprised.
Yep, exactly.
Kratz would be to each guy that he sends down in the bigs, he'd be like, all right, selfie together, sad, pouty, sad face. Just
hashtag sent to Iowa, and I'm not even from there.
Imagine if Kratz did it. You should have done that. That would have been Kratz hats before Kratz hats.
Yes.
If he's in the majors and each time he gets sent down, he has to take a selfie with the manager.
It would be tremendous.
Okay. I'd have Wade's ready.
Someone else bring
I'd
it
have
in.
2 hats
I'm
there
crying.
for him. I'd have 2 hats there for him. One is Iowa, one is Chicago Road. Oh, you're not going on the road. Sorry, bud.
I'm bringing this straight into our next guest, Wade Miley. Whew. Take a deep breath.
I'm sorry,
Joining
Wade.
us right now, Milwaukee Brewers superstar in the rotation joining us. Wade, how are you? We appreciate the time. And so we're going over all the call-ups. Every time a dude gets called up now, right, they do a whole skit. It's all orchestrated, social media team behind the scenes, like Ashton Kutcher's pump team. But we were like, what about if Kratz, each time he got sent down, took a selfie with his manager with his sad face? How you doing, dude?
Good. How are y'all? I caught the tail end of that. I didn't really know what was going on.
Wade, you're better off not knowing, because like Kratz, you have played for almost every team in the big league. So Luckily, yours are in the big leagues. Kratz are in the minor leagues. So just imagine Kratz having played for every team in the history of the minor leagues and keep getting sent down and having to show his face when he got told the news. That's basically what they were talking about.
Yeah.
Let's start just sending text messages.
Yeah, instead of just in text messages. What do you got, Waiter?
Do you like that stuff?
How we doing, man?
Good. Do you like that stuff? Like, do you check out like a video of a dude getting called up and get all emotional, or do you feel like we're taking a little too far now, where they're like setting up this whole like kind of prank thing where it's like, hey, bring him in, sit him down?
It's out of control. It's out of control. It's completely out of control. I mean, I don't even know where to start. It's we got the freshmen here in Milwaukee this year. There's like 5 of them. I think there's one left here now, but they did the whole spring training. There's just cameras everywhere following those guys around.
What was your call up like? What do you remember?
Brett Butler called me in the office, and it was pretty. I pitched that night. And the next day, I think somebody got hurt. Jason Marquis took a line drive off the leg, so I got called up by default. And he just called me in there and told me I was going to fill in for Marquis. Pretty low key and just nothing crazy.
So they didn't interview at all for the freshman class thing that they didn't.
No hidden cameras, none of that. Nothing crazy. Just take off. I'm flying out tomorrow.
Just fly out, and you know what? Congratulations, you made the big leagues. Like, they didn't have to make a huge to do about it.
That's right.
Wait,
there's enough pressure without all that. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
My God.
Wait, can I get the play-by-play from you? Because you brought up flying. I was going to wait, but our fan base is very active, and Rowdy was just on the other day trying to talk shit as usual, and he's like, every team's got that one guy on the plane who's either like, I hate the plane, or he keeps to himself. So AJ in our chat, the different AJ, said, are you going to ask Miley about flying? Rowdy said he was scared of flying. I don't think he said scared. I think he just said, like, you do your own thing. You're just like, all right, let's get through this. So what do you do on flights?
I sit tight, and I use the armrest to like drive the plane. Like, it's not good. I've gotten better over the years, but anxiety goes through the roof. I check the weather. I check with the pilots. I got a whole routine I do before I even get on board to make sure that it's gonna get us there safely, or hopefully get us there safely.
I've seen this entire routine. He's got this like expensive weather app and a flying app that he checks. But then if we're sitting on the plane, you sit on the plane, AJ, like they're loading stuff in, and like you got to get all your bats on the plane, and you might have to sit there for a little longer. Wade's anxiety goes through the roof. He's sitting there like, well, now I got to re-up the app, man. Oh man, he's looking in the aisles. He's looking down the aisle. It's tremendous. Only upped by this. What do you do when you get to the hotel and you check your room?
I make sure it's on a pretty low level. Not a huge elevator guy either. I refuse to get on there with more than 3 people.
We got to New York. We got to New York, and he goes, "Hey, does anybody want to take 30? I'll take floor 5 and below." He didn't want to be high up in the hotel.
That's my workout too. I use the stairs. Take the stairs. That's my lower body. Knock that out right when we get into a city, so I don't have to do it when I get to the ballpark. Yeah, a little bizarre, but it's worked out.
So have you ever had a situation where, for example, and it doesn't even have to be during the season, right? Maybe you're on vacation, the fam, they're like, sir, we got you the upgrade to the presidential suite on the 35th floor. That is the top floor. And you're like, nah, do you have anything like on floor 2?
No, I stay at a lot of Holiday Inns. They don't got presidential suites there. So just best available.
Wait, is that a fear of heights thing, or is that a fear of elevators thing?
I think it's the lack of control. I'm a kind of control freak. So it's like you sitting back on an airplane. I don't know this guy driving this thing. I try to have a conversation with him when I get on. Some of them are cool. Some of them are just kind of like, don't talk to me. I mean, I don't know. I don't like riding a vehicle with certain people. I mean, it's like I count them on one hand who I'm comfortably in a vehicle with, riding as a passenger. It's bad. It's terrible.
Do you call your own game then? If you're a
What's
control freak, do you control your own game? You call your own game?
No, not really.
You put it on your glove and go, beep 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 because you don't want the
No,
pitcher to be in
I've
control?
tried it. I've tried to wear it just for a couple situations. Now with the whole pitch clock, just maybe 3 or 4 times during the game, you're convicted on a certain pitch and I want to throw it. I would have it there, but no, I'd much rather. I feel like the catcher has a better view of the stuff I got that day and stuff like that. So I put a lot of trust in the catcher and go from there.
I appreciate that. That's why you're on the show. You put a lot of trust in me that you're coming on the show here. So and you put a lot of trust in Schauger that you're in his office. Schauger's office is
He gave me his office. He allowed me to use it.
Tell everyone because no one knows who that is. No offense, Schauger.
Jason Schauger. Actually, I think a couple weeks ago, y'all had Brandon Woodruff on there, and he kind of threw him under the bus a little bit about some kind of bat, a special bat, and hit a homer or something with a bat. And I just kind of wanted to clear that up. I don't think it's really Schauger's fault. I know they're having a little their relationship hasn't been the same since that interview.
Yeah, that went viral. That's the Brandon Woodruff
Kershaw.
home run bat off Kershaw. Yeah, the word from Woodruff was Schauger sent it back down to the minors, right?
Schauger, supposedly he lost it, but I don't blame Schauger. But I would love Schauger to say his side of it and come on the show. So after you leave,
he just opened his door, but he pieced out real fast. I should have got him in here to clear it up.
He will. He'll cut. He needs his own. He is a legend in the equipment decor, especially after all the stuff you guys did for Father's Day and everything. That is Schauger's Schauger loves
paint helmets. He paints so much. He wants everything's got to be perfect. It's bizarre. I tried to go out the other day. I think Friday we wear them light blue uniforms, and before I don't really like wearing them, so I had my navy on him. And I passed by his door. He freaked out. Hey man, you got the wrong stuff on.
Yeah, he will definitely
change.
He is definitely the equipment police when he's creating something. But that's why the Brewers have the best color matches and everything. Speaking of color match, Freddie P was just on yesterday, and he was telling me about the outfits that you bought for the starting pitchers. And then, so tell us about the outfit, and if you can, tell us what Rowdy looks like in the same outfit.
We can't get Rowdy in the outfit. Rowdy, they don't go that big. We don't have a size for Rowdy to get in that club. It's a starting pitcher thing. I'm not comfortable in them, but we all do it because we all want to look like Freddie. Freddie's a specimen, and but yeah, I think Rowdy had some short pants on. He's got to go with the 9 inchers though. The 7 inchers are a little too short for him.
Is it short? Like, are we wearing sliders underneath here, or are we talking like?
They got built-in sliders. Nobody wants to see nobody's junk hanging out, so built-in sliders in the shorts. Most guys are wearing them. Big Woo and Burnsy, they're a little tight on those guys. They're a little thicker around the hips, but they look good in them.
Who's not wearing them?
All the starters are wearing them for the most part.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you guys are working out, are you thinking about when you played for the Diamondbacks and they took away all the good food you could eat, like ice cream and snacks and candy?
I got myself ran smooth out of Arizona because of gluten.
No, because I told the story the other day that when I was with the White Sox, this is when it all started, and we'd go into cities and they'd be like, "Oh, we had to take all the ice cream out and all the good food out," meaning the ice cream, the snacks, the chips, because the Yankees were just in town. They're not allowed to eat that shit. And Ozzie Guillen would say, "No, I want the ice cream, I want the chips, I want the alcohol back in." And so they'd be so happy, all the clubbies, because they're like, "Yes, the White Sox are coming. They're going to eat all the shit no one else wants to eat." So that's you. I'm on Team Wade here. I'm a grown man.
I just feel like we're grown ass men. If I want to go eat a candy bar, if you don't want to go eat it, don't go eat it. That's the decision you make. But to take it from me where I can't eat it, that's where I ran into the issue at the time, I was probably 24, 25 years old. Like, if I want a candy bar, I'm going to give me a candy bar. And they tried to, kind of take that away. I had them in my locker. I had some stuff stored, spent some time with some Sam's Club. I had to buy it in bulk, but I definitely had it.
So you had to kind of sneak it in? Was it like summer camp?
It was bizarre. Yeah. Yeah, it was bizarre. It was paying dues and having to buy my own Snickers. It drove me nuts.
What is your go-to candy bar? What was your go-to candy bar then? Is it the same now?
You guys aren't going to believe this. About 6 weeks ago, I kind of changed my ways a little bit. I'm a little on the healthier side, trying to take care of myself. I kind of want to play a little bit longer. So I'm trying to do better. So I haven't really had a candy bar in a while, but if I could have one, it'd probably be Butterfinger. Butterfinger, Reese
Ooh.
Cup, somewhere along there.
Butterfinger gets stuck in your teeth though. Like
That's
you
all
can't
right.
ever get it out of your
I grind
teeth.
it up good.
Oh man. All right, Reese's
Love-
Cups I'm down with, but Butterfingers get stuck in your teeth and you're like, for
Yeah,
like
but
3 days, you're like, man,
I'm
that was
not
a piece of
stuck.
That's
Butterfinger.
part of it. That's good. You can eat on it for 3 days. You know, just lick your back molar, and you still got the flavor there.
Wait. What did you call the other one? The other one. What did you call the cups?
The Reese Cup.
The Reese's. They're not Reese's. Reese's.
Whatever. You knew exactly what I was talking about.
I know, and I just wanted to hear you say it again. But I am so like, I don't know if I'm embarrassed, sad, or happy for you that you are eating healthy. Like 6 weeks? 6 weeks? I thought that shirt was looking baggy on you. Like, what next?
A little bit.
You're gonna trim your beard up?
A little bit. I'm trying to get a little younger. There was gray all in here. I tried to cut it all out. I mean, I guess a little bit of a midlife crisis.
All of a sudden you want to pitch longer? Back in 18, you were like, man, I don't know, man. Like, this might be it. Now all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm looking for a long-term extension from the Brewers. Jiminy Christmas. Come on, dude.
Last year was tough on me. Last year, every time I pitched 1 week and I'd be on the shelf for 2 weeks. Pitch 1 week, be on the shelf, and I was kind of over it. And then I don't know, I feel healthy again, and it's fun, you know, kind of re-sparked it a little bit.
Are you buying cows online a lot again?
No, I'm kind of past. I mean, we still got a lot of cattle, but I don't do the online buying anymore. Do a little more selling now, so finally starting to see some profits from that.
Oh, so you had too many. You have a surplus, and now the demand is out there.
Yeah, we got a good many of them now. Yeah. Just looking to sell them now.
How do you get into that? Because some of your name has come up on that front too. Some of your teammates will be like, "Hey, what are some of the guys doing in the clubhouse when they're chilling?" And I think it was Peralta who brought it up. He was like, "Oh, Wade, he just chills and buys cows." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, I've just been around them my whole life. Me and my brother, we just grew up around cattle, and in 2008 we kind of started a beef business, and those first 5, 6, 7 years was kind of tough. So yeah, I spent a lot of time on the internet trying to find cheap cows and cheap this and finding deals, and you don't get to pick when the auctions are, so you just kind of whatever time, be 3 or 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock right before a game, and I'll be in there trying to make some good deals, and some guys hadn't to witness it.
Some dudes play video games pre-game. You were buying cattle. That's cool. There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Yeah, everybody gets their rush before the game.
Yeah,
Why did you sign back with the Brewers?
Say that again?
Why did you sign back with the Brewers?
Man, I loved it here, to be honest. That year in 18, we had so much fun. You were a part of it. It was a blast. And really, the last 5 years, each off season, I was like, man, I'd love to go back to Milwaukee. I knew they had something special brewing over here, and just finally got the opportunity and just jumped on it. You know, I was super excited. Love Counts, the coaching staff, Murph was a big part of it. Obviously, me and Woodruff have been close buddies for since we played together. Stayed in contact with him. I was really hoping to just come in here and watch him and Woodruff and Burns lead us to the promised land. So we still got time for that.
Now you got to pitch. You got to pitch good too.
You just kind of got to slip down. I'd like to pitch in between them because I know that year in 19 when I was with Houston, they had me in between Verlander and Cole, and it's like people just forget about you. You just slip in there real quick and get out. They're more worried about Garrett Cole the next night or Verlander the night before. So I need those two guys healthy.
Wade, you're a fastball cutter guy now, right? 4-seam cutter guy now?
Yeah, I'll throw a few more 4-seams, more or less cutter changeup.
Cutter changeup combo now.
Cutter changeup. A lot of cutters, a lot of changeups. Yeah.
Have you always thrown this? You've obviously thrown cutter your whole life?
No, I started throwing it in late in 17. I was rocking about a 70 RA in Baltimore. The AL East ain't for me. And I was trying to wiggle my way out. Just trying to get through outings. I was struggling bad, and we were in Tampa, and I was giving up a grand slam. And I remember going to Caleb Joseph, and dude, I'm going to throw this slider as hard as I can. I got to have something going in on righties. And that's kind of where it just took off.
So you invented it on the mound.
In middle of a game. I played with it a couple times before, but it was terrible. And I just started throwing it hard in that off season of 17. Spent some time talking to some guys that threw cutters and just tried to figure out how to command it and move it to both sides of the plate. And then Kratzy started calling it. I think we were in Cincinnati one day and we didn't have it. Our bullpen was pretty tired, and Counts was going to run me out there for a while. And Kratzy called about 97 cutters, and we went after him. And from that moment on,
8
Better
innings.
head.
I think you went 8 that day, and it was you wanted to go back out for the 9th, and I think we had like 2 guys left in the pen, and you were like, Counts, just give it to me. Counts was like, you have 115 pitches. There's no way we're sending you back out. And you were like, yeah, all right. I just remember it being a day game in Cincinnati, and
It was hot. It was a hot one too.
You were sweat, and you don't sweat because you don't ever drink any water, so you
Right.
don't sweat, and you're like, afterwards you go, man, you were sitting on the bench, and on the visiting bench, the sun like beams in, and you're sitting back, you were like sipping on the bottle of water, and you go, hey man, I think I'm gonna go inside. And you just went inside. You were so hot, it was.
I was fixing to die. I was fixing to pass out.
Yes, you were. And so you're going to pass out inside on the couch. That's what I kind of wanted to get to. Like, you have this, like, oh, I like unhealthy food, by cattle, all this stuff. What people don't understand about you and what I learned about you when we played together and, we almost made the World Series together, you compete your absolute face off. Where did that come from?
I don't know, man. I just love it. I love that moment of being out there. That's why I'm still playing. That one day we get to go out and pitch and compete. I don't know. It just becomes a battle, I guess, an internal battle, and then I just try to get after it.
Is there anything else? That gets you like that?
Fishing. I love fishing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a few things. Anything competitive. Anytime I'm competing with it could be any sport. Throwing darts, playing pool, whatever. I like to win. That kind of got instilled into me at a young age. One of my summer ball coaches, he's a savage, and that's just kind of how he treated us, and that's just kind of what happened.
Hey, Wade, how's your family on start days? Like, do they not give a shit anymore because you've been in the league for a while? So it's like, just you can mess with dad, jump on his back, do whatever you want. Like,
don't jump on that back. That thing is hummus, soft. you gotta keep that together.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty laid back, so I don't really think too much about the whole game side until I'm like an hour before. So I try to have a normal day as possible. No crazy, like don't talk to nobody. I'm having a good time, shooting some hoops when we get in the clubhouse. Me and Jeb, my little boy, we'll wake up and play in the morning time, and just try to be as normal as possible, and then just try to kick it on when it gets time.
I like it. Question for you. I want to take you back a few years ago because I remember, I think it was 2019. There was a point where like an old teammate told you were tipping or something like that. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So what's the culture like? I mean, these guys have talked about it. If somebody picks up a tip, like if you see it from another dude that you played with, like, do you tell him, or if he's a division rival, like maybe you'll hit him, October 1st if their team doesn't make the playoffs?
It's tough. Because I mean, I've been on 8 or 9 different teams now, and I've got some close friends in this game. So it's hard to sit back and not say anything, but at the same time, you're competing against these guys. Me and Big Woodruff, we had a conversation the other day. There was a start, and I maybe shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. He pitched against us in Cincinnati, I believe, in 20. I think it was the COVID year. And me and we're close. Like, we've been close for a long time, and he was doing some toe tapping thing. Like 3 was something and 4 was something else. And he still pitched well, but we ended up, beating him. We scored 4 or 5 runs late homer. And it took everything in me, and I couldn't. He had a rough one the next game, and I was like, I had to tell him. Like, I didn't want to watch him go down that road guessing of like why his stuff's not good or why he's giving up runs. But I mean, it's a tough spot to be in for sure.
Yeah, because you're a great friend and a great teammate, and that's why your value goes more than what you do on the field. Yeah, you're throwing cutters. Yeah, you're throwing change-ups up there to get the guys out. But you're a teammate that cares for your guys, and I think that's awesome that you told him what he was doing, because Big Woo's he's gonna be your opponent for however long, but he's gonna be your buddy. He's gonna be your friend
for a lifetime, right? And that's the way you got to look at it, man. And seems a little soft, but at the end of the day, you want everybody to come up and do well. You want everybody to come up and be as good as they can possibly be, and and maximize whatever they're trying to maximize in this game. And I think about that all the time. Obviously, we're competing, and when I'm out there, it's a little bit cutthroat. But when you're sitting back and watching, enjoying the game for the game, it's we only get to do it for so long. So you kind of want to see guys perform at a high level as often as they can, and you want to beat people at their best.
The teammate that helped you or the ex-teammate back then, and I know it was kind of like after the season, but still, I mean, going into next season at least, obviously you corrected it pretty quickly. Did you send him like a bottle of wine or something? Like, thanks, man.
I know we had a couple good conversations about it. It's a peace of mind a little bit. I don't know if y'all remember, there was a stretch at 19 where I was probably on pace to have one of the better years of my career, and it just came to a halt. I didn't make it out of the first inning, maybe like 4 or 5 starts in a row. Didn't know what was going on. And then after the year, I made a start out in Anaheim, and he reached out to me after that and kind of told me, hey, bro, you need to check this out. And I did, and it just gave me a peace of mind going into the offseason that, hey, maybe if I can clean this up, I can get back on track.
Who was it? Who told you?
I don't want to bust him.
Come
Is he still in the league?
man.
Can you tell us when he retired?
He's still playing. I can't bust him, but he's still playing.
Wait, you got better friends than I do. Than I was. Because I played. So I came up with the Twins, and I played with Brad Radke, and then I went to the White Sox, and he was tipping, and we had every pitch. And I didn't tell him. I waited till his retirement party, and at his retirement party, I said, "Hey, by the way, we had every pitch you were throwing." He's like, "God damn it! Why didn't you tell me I was because I was in the division. I wanted to get more hits off you."
No.
And he's like, "So now you tell me."
It's
So,
hard.
Your friends are better friends than I would have been.
It's tough. I've only done it a couple times to people I'm close with, but it's like, damn, I hope he doesn't tell anybody that I told. It's just a tough situation, but I can't sit there and watch him, get roughed up, knowing that this is probably a big root of the reason, and it just didn't feel right without saying it. So I said it. It is what it is.
AJ, there's no way Brad Radke is still your friend. He definitely hates you.
Totally.
Nah, frenemy. He's definitely like, hey, Jay, what's up, dude? How you doing? And then right after he's with him, he's like, fucking
honestly. So, listen, in his speech, his retirement speech, he had this big thing and had this whole invited a bunch of us over in Tampa. And in his speech, he's like, I just want to say thank you, AJ, because I wondered my last couple of years why I was getting hit so hard. And he's like, it was because I'm tipping. And he's like, if you would have told me earlier, son of a bitch, I still would have been playing. He's like, I just thought I had lost my stuff. And I was like, well, dude, I had to get hits somehow. Like, I'm facing a guy. Okay. If he was in a different division or not one of our rivals, I probably would have told him.
I know what's bizarre to me is the fact that, like, there's a lot of guys out there that do something. They'd have some kind of tip. It may not be 100%, 80, 90%. Like, we see it very often. And the guys that don't want it blows my mind. Like, I don't know. I've never really been a hitter since I was in high school. But I feel like if I can know what's coming, I'd have a hell of a lot better chance. I mean, is that not accurate?
For sure. Everybody wants to. If you don't want to know, they're like, guys are like, oh, I don't want to know. What do you mean you don't want to know what's coming?
My swing. I'm going to swing at everything. What do you mean you're going to swing at everything? Like, as soon as I see it, I'm going to swing. Bullshit. Like, it's the big leagues. Like, you can see a pitch. Like, but I don't know. I'm not in those shoes, but. Yeah, it blows my mind.
You ever think, like, somebody that comes to your mind right now that you're like, dang, the way that guy hits me, I must be tipping something. Who is that hitter for you?
Scott Van Slyke in L.A. I think I gave up 7 or 8 homers. I threw at him one night in Arizona, and he put his foot in the bucket and hit me, and almost hit off a TGI Fridays. I'm just like, I'm done. I got nothing for this guy.
Scott Van Slyke.
Scott Van Slyke hit everything I threw.
Wait, I told that story about Burley the other day. What was the guy's name? Right-handed hitter for the Angels, something with a Q. I don't know. It was irrelevant. It was before your guys' time, but he owned Burley, right? We couldn't get him out. So we said, screw it. We're just throwing fastballs away every pitch. Fastball away. We finally started getting him out because he was looking for cutters in, changeups. We're like, nope, every pitch is going to be sinker away. Because he was, guessing cutter, changeup.
Right.
And we got him. He went 0 for 4, and I think Burley was like, oh, my gosh, miracles do happen.
Yeah, I threw the whole book at Van Slyke, and he's hit every pitch I had. Like, he's hit the changeup, he's hit the curveball, he's hit the fastball, the sinker. He hit everything I had. I mean, it was just like, if this guy's in the lineup, like I'm toast.
You guys fall asleep on me?
Yeah, I lost you.
Did we lose Scott and Mark? Erik?
We did. We lost them.
Finally, Wade! I
they're
finally
gone.
can say whatever I want about those two fools. No, hey, listen, I love those stories about you discovering pitches and you making things up and as you go, because those are the stories that people don't hear, right? You hear about like, oh, I went in the bullpen and I worked on my spin rate to get my release point right here, right? And then boom, oh no, I'll screw this. I was getting whacked and I was like, I'm throwing this pitch, right? Now let's go to 2023 here. Brewers, you guys are behind the Reds.
Right.
You're going to give me the standard. The Reds are a good team, but seriously, the Reds?
They're doing a little different than what you normally would see. I would say that even the Pirates and the Reds, you're seeing more of like, I don't know if you call it old school baseball or traditional baseball or whatnot. I mean, their manufacturer runs it in a different way. Teams like that are a little tougher for like myself at least. They're not just up there air pulling trying to hit homers to left. So I've been watching them over the last couple of weeks, and I mean, they're obviously hot right now, and it's impossible to stay this hot. But yeah, I don't know what to say about that. The Pirates have cooled off a little bit, but yeah, the Reds are playing good ball right now. Is it sustainable? Who knows?
The team.
I don't think we've been very good since we left Seattle. We've been kind of up and down. We haven't really got traction since then.
The thing for me is when I watch you guys play, like you guys are built on starting pitching, obviously, with you, Burns, Woodruff has been out, Freddie, who's kind of been up and down. He's been okay, right? And then you're back into your bullpen with Williams and some other guys. But the question I have is, when you get those guys back, don't you think you guys should be able to put together that run that will separate from the pack, whether it's the Pirates, the Reds, the Cardinals, whoever? Like, I feel like there's a run in you guys that hasn't come yet. Right, like a 9 out of 10 or
for sure.
Like
you know that feeling. You know that feeling when it happens. Like we're grinding. I don't know if you want to say grinding, but we're scuffling here and there. But you know that feeling like it's going to come at some point where you rattle off 4 or 5 in a row, and then you get that every time you walk out, we're going to win this game, and you kind of. We've had opportunities to do that throughout the year. Early in the year, we had opportunities to walk away from this division, and we just kind of shit down our leg a little bit. Hopefully we can get going here shortly and get back into that, because I think the talent's there. I think the team's built to do that. It's just not happening right now.
What's it going to take? You've seen Bull Durham, right? Sacrificing a live chicken.
Maybe I don't know.
Maybe feed the boys with a cow. Or
I was hoping it was the Weimer mullet the other day. He had Milwaukee fired up, but we fizzled back off after that. But I mean, it's a long season and a lot of things happen. We just gotta find ways to win these games, man. We put ourselves in kind of bad situations early, and we're just not fighting back in them.
Get Rowdy to grow his hair out. That's what I'm thinking.
I know. I've been talking shit to Rowdy about getting some hits. Like, damn.
Go up there, so go up to Rowdy and just say, like, grab his, like, whatever his game bat is, and just start, rubbing it.
Right, do something to it.
And be like, hey, I got hits in me.
I was going to ask Counts if I can hit for myself my next start and let Rowdy stay on the bench and watch and see if I can stir some shit up.
Do it right in front of Rowdy and see what he says, because he gets on me every time he comes on. That I was in Milwaukee, I was in San Fran, and I went up to Colton Wong and Jace Peterson, and I said, hey, man, your first baseman sucks. I can still play. And I've been retired for like 5 years, and Rowdy was sitting right there, so he brings it up every time.
That's what he needs to hear. I think that's what fuels him. I really, truly think, like, you talk a little shit to him or get in his head a little bit about, like, I mean, he's obviously a pretty damn good hitter and he can do some damage, but you get in his head a little bit and it kind of stirs him up, and then you go see it. I think somebody said something to him in Minnesota. Did he come on the show in Minnesota? Because he was like 3 for 4, hit some shit rides.
He had the awful shirt on.
Oh, and they wore that goofy, like that polo with all the flowers on it or weed on it or whatever it was?
Yes, that one. Yeah,
he came on. Yeah. He was on the show that day?
Absolutely.
He wore that show in a public setting, like where people could see.
Yes, 100%.
Oh, my God. That's tough.
It was tough. It was And then he was making fun of me, and I was like, Rowdy, have you seen your shirt?
Right.
He's like,
Look
I
at the
don't want
mirror,
anyone to
Rowdy.
see my shirt. I asked him
Yeah.
what size it was, and he wouldn't tell me either.
3X for sure.
Oh, that's so great. Well, Wade, thank you for coming on. I really do. We do appreciate it. I don't know.
Yep.
You scared your boy Kratzy away. I was hoping to hear more stories about how he ruined your career, but you kept pumping him up, so we kicked him off the show. So thank you. Thanks for coming on, Wade. We appreciate it. We'll see you. Hopefully
Yeah.
see you
Thank
soon.
y'all. Enjoyed it. Y'all be good.
All right. Well, this has now turned into my show, which is great. Oh, wait, they're back? Wait. I hear you, Scott, but I can't see you, thank goodness. I can hear you. Yeah. You guys, we just ran in the weeds, and guess what? You guys are in the weeds right now. Outside, it looks like. Can anyone else on there hear me? Hear them? Oh boy. All right, well, in the weeds, while they're trying to find their service because Kratz doesn't pay his bills, Scott, you're welcome to move there anytime. The Red Sox are getting hot, by the way. They beat the Twins again. They're moving on up. They're on a 5-game winning streak. They're only half game back from Toronto, almost 2 games ahead of the Yankees. And I like what the Red Sox are doing. As much as I have a bet against the Red Sox and white hair versus red hair, but man, the Red Sox are hot right now. I like what the Red Sox are doing. Their pitching has been better than expected. Paxton's been good. The rest of the team, they can hit. Justin Turner's been a great sign for them. And I need some chat questions right now because without Scott here and without really planning for this, it's a little tough to figure out what the heck's going on. So I'm going to jump in the chat and answer some questions until Matt Olson comes in here. See what we got chat-wise here. Rob Quinlan. Okay. Hey, Matt. Well, let's welcome Matt Olson here from the Atlanta Braves and the second most famous Parkview High School alumni in the Braves organization.
Yeah.
Behind Jeff Francoeur, right?
Yep. So says Jeff.
So who is more famous, you or Jeff?
No, it is him. I mean, he was probably he was doing it on the football field too. So I'll give him a nod there. But yeah, I get that one a lot. I think he's spread his word around the league a little more than I have.
Okay, yeah, he's definitely given Parkview a little bit more love over his career. So did you become you're not a Clemson fan, you signed with Vanderbilt. Did you become you didn't have to become an honorary Clemson fan because of Jeff Francoeur?
No, and I met my wife at UGA. I was up there in the off seasons, hanging out and kind of living my college experience a little bit. So I claim UGA now.
Oh, be careful. Be careful with me because I'm a Florida fan. So.
All right.
Let's be a little careful, man. I was gonna
subject right now.
No, I was gonna give you a lot of love and say I love watching you play left-handed hitter, especially in Truist. I mean, listen, anybody that can go up there in Truist and just go up there in the Coors Light zone up there in right field, it's got to be a great feeling. The thing is, you came up with Oakland. There's been a ton of discussion about Oakland A's, and actually, if you go on Google, you're still in an A's hat. You and Sean Murphy still have your A's hat. If you Google Braves roster, have you seen that? And have you seen Michael Harris II's picture?
I haven't seen Mike's picture. No.
Okay, just when you get a chance, I want you to Google Michael. Just type in Braves roster, and you'll see you and Sean Murphy. There it is. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that is not Michael Harris.
Is it?
I don't think that's right.
No, I don't think. I'm pretty sure that's not right. It's amazing that you got you two in your A's hats, and you got Michael Harris as maybe it's a Halloween costume. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, is that an old Michael Harris, or is that some joke somebody's playing on him?
I don't know. I don't know if you can go in there and change it on your own, but it's a bad joke at that because Michael Harris is way better looking than that. So let's not forget that fact. Much better beard, much better facial hair, and he can play center field probably better than that guy.
Probably a little better. I'll point it out to Mike. I'm sure he'll get on it.
Matt, what was it like in Oakland? I know you're in Atlanta now and you're from Atlanta. So But what was it like playing for the Oakland Athletics, and what was it like seeing what they're going through now and what they're doing to the fans out there?
Yeah, I always get a little careful answering this because I don't want to, bash anybody. Obviously, it was an organization that gave me a chance, and I love the people and the players when I was there in Oakland. The fans were great. Sure, they might not pack it out the way you want it to, but I think there is a fan base there. I think that there's some things that have been neglected as far as um, maybe from the top down or taking care of the stadium or I think we all know about the issues that are going on there, and it's kind of been forced to them, making this Vegas transition. I don't know if it's 100% yet. It's kind of been tough to follow for me, just because it's some new big vote every other week. So a little bit like Boy Who Cried Wolf. You don't know if it's actually happening or not, but yeah, it's sad. I think you turn on any big league game and you see 2,000 people in the stands. That's not ideal for anybody to kind of get going for a big league game. So it is what it is. There, I think the ship might have already sailed, but I think Oakland's always been good as a place that gives young guys chances, and it just seems that they always hit that reset button and never fully give the guys the next chance.
It sucks too, right? Because think of how good of a team y'all would have had. Oh wait, look who's back! I think.
Got him?
Oh yeah, we're back. Can you hear us, or is it brutal?
Yeah, we can hear you. Do you guys have a question for my guest, Matt Olson?
Okay, well,
Yes, Matt, how's it going, dude? Of course, literally, we've been doing this show every single day since March 1, and Manfred shut our power off. No, I'm just kidding. But we are outside right now because
it's all right. I'm in a
power
storage
went down
closet right
in,
now, so it's
middle of
fitting.
somewhere, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I'm
Exactly.
stuck in here with the
So
Red Bulls
we're all
right
in our
now.
favorite
So
places,
yeah.
but dude.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, this is 2023. Gotta love it. You guys still hearing us or no?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, we keep freezing up here.
Matt, you guys are in Philly.
Okay.
You're in Philly. How pumped are you to watch Spencer Strider go out and throw those high heaters tonight?
Man, he's electric. I had a guy tell me it looks like he's throwing ping pong balls one time. That's like my go-to Strider story, and I haven't had the chance to step in the box off of him, but I know for a fact I don't want a guy to be looking like he's chucking ping pong balls. So he's fun to play behind. The stuff that he has, you see it, but dude's one of the best competitors I've played with too. So when you double those things up together, it's you're going to have a pretty solid career.
Who's the best? Go ahead, Erik. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. So if Strider, you haven't faced him. If it's him, that's cool. If it's somebody else, it's cool. Who would you bat slam after you hit a home run off your own teammate, like Reese did off of Strider last year in the playoffs?
Off my own teammate, right now?
Yeah, off your own teammate. Yeah.
I'm trying to think who I'd like to hold that over their head the most.
You can't say Jesse Chavez because I hit a home run.
No, I wouldn't do that to Chavi. He's been around too much. I respect him too much to do that.
He would cut you.
Yeah, he'd have some issues with it. Maybe I'll go a little Kirby Yates. Kirby and I get along pretty good, and he gets a little fiery. So maybe I'd like to spark a little fire in him.
All right. Think you would get
Hey,
mad
Matt,
about it?
how much? Go ahead,
So you think you get mad?
No. Yeah, you think you'd get a little mad if you went deep off of him?
Oh, he'd get the ass, yeah.
Really? Because
Yeah,
you guys are friends, or because he gave up a homer?
I think some sort of a combo of both. I got Bassett last year as an old teammate, and that was probably a really good feeling one because Bassett and I have a good run of talking some shit to each other. So I was able to clip him once in Truist, and I'll still hold that over his head.
Matt, how much do you miss the shift?
So much. I mean, obviously, I am a lefty who pull the ball at a pretty decent clip, so it's nice seeing a couple balls go through the 4-hole there. But for real, I think my favorite part about it is playing defense without the shift again. Past few years find yourself tied up on some balls to your right as a first baseman because you're either the guy's standing there or you're used to the guy being there. Maybe you don't get a good first step on it just because you're so used to that being an out. And now it's kind of like opening it back up. You get to see some good defensive plays again. I mean, I think it's awesome.
Sometimes I ask the question like, hey, where were you when you found out your team signed this guy? Were you freaking out and celebrating and texting your teammates? So same thing on this question. Like you said, I mean, and the defense is just a bonus there. Of course, the offense too. And I just think the game looks better. It's more aesthetically pleasing. It's more of what I grew up watching. So where were you when you heard the official news that they were going to restrict the shift? And did you do like a little jump up for joy, or at least like a toast? Like, fuck you. It was a good run. It's my turn.
Yeah, I mean, the thought of being a 300 hitter popped back into my head. But I can't remember the exact spot. I think it was during all the CBA stuff that it started becoming a little more real. I know they've been kicking it around for a while. I think it was clear that I was fully on board with it. But yeah, I mean, it was a good day in the Olson house.
Matt, dude, you don't care about the shift. You hit the ball over the shift. Now, see, a ground ball guy like myself, if they shifted, I'd be like, oh, I'd break my bat. You're up there with your arms out, bringing it in. You're going over the shift. It shouldn't have mattered where they shifted because you were going deep. But that's okay. I understand your love. You also got to come home. Explain coming home to play to people, because what a difference it makes, and also what pressure it brings pressure on you, because you have people that are close to you saying, I want tickets, I want to come watch you, whatever it is. But there's also a pressure that comes along with playing at home.
Yeah, I think it was last year was a lot of new stuff for me. Even from being in a place in Oakland where I'd come back home for the off seasons in Atlanta, and pretty much nobody knew that I played Major League Baseball because it's nobody's really watching the Oakland games and nobody's staying up that late on the East Coast. So I'd come back home and kind of have a little bit of an escape where now it's a little more recognizable being a Brave in Atlanta. But luckily the tickets haven't gotten too crazy. My parents still think that they bug me for ticket requests when it's like, yo, mom and dad, you can get tickets. They're worried about the $50 I'm spending on tickets for them. It's like, you guys gave me life. I think this is pretty cool. But friends and family have been good. Obviously, Braves baseball is huge in Atlanta, so get a lot of people reaching out, maybe you haven't heard from in a while, who are popping into games and want to say what's up. It's good. It was a dream of mine to be a Brave as a kid, and not many people get the chance to put on a uniform for the city that you grew up in and always saw yourself playing. So sure, there might be a little extra on it, being somebody from Atlanta, but I look at it as a really cool opportunity more so than any sort of pressure.
So this is your chance to call out one of your buddies or a family member to stop asking you for tickets. Like your parents, they got the free, like you're a boss, they gave you life, you'll get them the $50 tax deductible tickets. This is your chance to call people out that you're like, hey, yo, Uncle Jimmy, like you're not even really my uncle, like quit calling me.
No, I really don't have anybody. I probably think I'm lying, but I don't know if we just set the tone early or what. But everybody's been pretty good. That doesn't mean that's me asking for more people to ask for tickets, because that's not going to be the case. But nobody's been blasting me for them.
Nobody?
So what would it mean? What would it mean as a Atlanta Brave fan growing up in that area to win a World Series this year?
I mean, that's why you play. I got to kind of live through the other guys last year at the beginning of the year when they had the ceremonies and getting the rings and seeing the love that the city was giving them for winning the year before. But obviously I wasn't a part of it. That's the best thing you can do is to hold the trophy at the end, be a part of a special group and go on a long run. And that's something that I need to experience. I think we got the team to do it.
Matt, do you like your teammates? Because you're stuck with them for the next 7 years. I think pretty much everyone. I think every single teammate you have for 7 more years, don't you?
Yeah, we got a pretty locked up core here. No, we got a great group. And I'm 29, but I feel like the old guy out of all of the ones that are locked up. Between Mike and Ozzy and Ronald and Riley. It's Strider. It's a fun group. You see the talent on the field, but it's full of guys who like to have fun in here. And when it's game time, it's we still have fun out there, but kind of no bullshit and just go play and try to win. And it's sad as it is, I don't think that's the case everywhere. I think we're really good about not having a lot of egos, and it translates to some dubs.
So if everybody's locked up, who's paying for the spread? Who's paying for the meal when you guys got an off day or the golf outing?
We rotate through a few. I'm stepping up at a pretty decent clip, I would say, but it's not. Part of it is selfish because the first dinner I paid for last year, I got like 4 knocks the next day. So I'm normally the first one to toss my card in there strictly for myself, and we have some other guys fighting to pay for the same reason. But I might pull the throw my card to the waiter or waitress before we sit down and slide in there. Hopefully hit a couple homers and slide it by them.
That's a pro move.
That's big league.
It pays back, basically.
No, it's big league.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, what's the number one question, Matt, that you get from Braves fans, whether it's in real life or on social media or something that stands out that's funny that people ask you about?
Man, number one, you hear all kind of stuff. I don't think there's too many recurring questions. I'm getting tagged in a fair amount of why don't you shorten up with 2 strikes questions right now, which are always awesome, but I'm typically not responding to those. That's probably the hottest one at the moment. Yeah.
You tell them again, you hit it over the shift. You don't need to choke up. You're paid to go deep.
Yeah, I tell them that's a great idea. I haven't thought of that yet.
I love that answer. Yeah, no, I haven't tried that. I haven't even thought. I didn't want to try that.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll try that today.
How many cheesesteaks have you eaten in Philly?
Over my career or currently, like this
today?
I got 0. I got 0 today. I had a little late breakfast, so I thought the cheesesteak was a little aggressive, but maybe I'll go post game. Definitely got to get one tomorrow. I don't think I'm chasing any records out here.
You're not a get a cheesesteak for breakfast because they make a breakfast cheesesteak there.
Yeah, I haven't done that one either.
Oh, and then they do the cheesesteak pregame.
Yeah.
And then you get the cheesesteak wrapped in the tinfoil to go on the plane.
Maybe I'll go breakfast Philly our last day here.
That's how you catch the records right there. They also have homers in them, by the way, just so you know.
Okay, now we're talking.
Who is the record board still on the fridge?
Yeah, they have it over there. I don't know what it's at now.
Because forever it was like a bullpen catcher, wasn't it?
Sam Hilliard, who was with Colorado last year, said their
Marcus
strength
Hamill
had like 24 on. I don't know if that. I'm assuming that was a series. Surely nobody's popping 24 in a day, but I don't know if that record's still standing.
Wow, that's a lot of cheesesteaks, and I don't care how many days you're there. Even if you're there for 4 days. I don't know. I think we lost. Did we lose you guys again? Okay. Well, Matt, thank you. I'm sorry that this sucked for you. It was good for me, though, because I didn't have to see Scott. But we'll definitely have you back on when Scott and Erik are back on. But thank you. Go hit a homer today. And when you see Wash and you see some of the boys of the Braves that I played there a long time ago, and Ozzie was like one of the last guys I played with on the Braves, tell them all hello.
Will
do. My favorite organizations. Thanks, Matt. Good luck.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thank y'all.
Classic. Matt Olson, class guy. And, of course, just tell him, like, how many times have you lost power in your spot in PA?
I've never lost the power.
Never?
Not one time.
In your entire time living here?
It has flashed on and off before, and that is it.
You ever seen the movie Poltergeist?
Yeah.
Or The
scary.
Ring or any of that?
Super scary.
I mean, I'm the bad guy or the bad whatever.
You brought the cloud of power.
It has to be. AJ's always going to blame me now.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. That was super awkward for me because I wasn't mentally prepared to do the show without you guys.
Yeah, well, AJ, you should always be prepared, especially when you kick me out of your home and you don't let me do shows there because you're on the road too much. This is what you should expect. So anyway, we're going to wrap things up. So let's slap hands.
That's frozen.
All right, so we've got something special we're doing today that we'll be doing at least once per week on the Bet MGM sports app. And we have a special Foul Territory same game parlay that we whipped up this morning. So play along if you'd like, as Kratzy and me will be doing so tonight. We'll be on NYY News TV YouTube channel, if the power comes back, watching the Yankees and the Mariners. And we've got a little parlay that has some Kratz flavor to it. So we've got Garrett Cole hitting his strikeouts at 6+.
6+.
Gleyber Torres getting at least one knock.
Just a base.
Just at least a base.
Need a base,
okay?
Gleyber.
Over a half total base. And we did see some previous success for Gleyber against George Kirby, which is not easy to find.
Yeah, they had 3 hits last time they faced him, so we're looking for GT to stay up the middle on a couple of the sinker sliders. Anybody that's pulling off the ball got no shot against George Kirby.
Yep, and also we have the Yankees money line. Nice and simple.
Need it.
Riding the Yanks. We think we're bringing them some luck. So check it out in the BetMGM sports app if you want to play along on our little same game parlay. Feeling pretty good about it. We're coming off a hot night. And we're going to finish with this. Out of the Park Baseball is running a special right now. It's to benefit ALS, as you can go to als.org/foul territory to donate. We really appreciate the Foul Territory fam, joining us for this stream that we're about to show you with Pierzynski against Frazier. So AJ, we'll throw it to you to give us your last thoughts before we throw it to this out of the park game, and you can sign off for us because we are struggle city right now with them shutting us down in Pennsylvania. Go ahead, dude.
You can see I'm biting my nails because I'm super nervous about this out of the park thing because it's a no-win situation for me because my 05 White Sox won the World Series. Todd's 2012 team, they got ejected in the first round. So I hope I make all the right moves. I hope I don't screw it up. Jose Contreras versus Johnny Cueto on the mound. And I'm going to face Johnny Cueto, and Todd Frazier's going to face Contreras. We get to play as ourselves, which is kind of cool. But thank you to Out of the Park Baseball. Great thing. See you guys tomorrow. Hopefully Scott and Erik get their power back. I'm sorry you had to listen to just me. Subscribe. It's free. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Foul Territory.